Life is tough. It throws challenges, setbacks, and difficult moments your way that seem impossible to overcome. But here's the thing. You don't have to let those moments define your happiness. You don't have to wait for life to get better to feel better. The truth is, happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create for yourself, no matter what's going on around you. In this video, we're going to show you how to stay happy every single day, even when life gets hard. We're going to talk about practical, actionable steps you can take to change your mindset, push through the tough times, and keep your happiness intact. If you've ever felt like happiness is just out of reach, or that it's too hard to stay positive when everything feels like it's falling apart, this video is for you. Stick around, and let's dive into how you can take control of your happiness, no matter the circumstances. Chapter 1. Conquer your fears by facing them head-on daily. Fear is the enemy of greatness. It's the silent thief that steals your dreams, the invisible force that keeps you trapped in a life far smaller than the one you were meant to live. Every single day it whispers in your ear, convincing you to play it safe, to stay in your comfort zone, to avoid the risks that could change everything. But here's the truth. Most people don't realize fear only controls you if you let it. The second you decide to face it head-on, everything changes. The moment you stop running, stop hesitating, and start attacking your fears like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does, that's when you unlock your true potential. Most people never take this step. They live in the illusion that fear is a warning sign, a stoplight that tells them to turn back. They don't realize that fear is actually a signal. It's not telling you to stop, it's telling you to move forward. It's pointing you toward the very thing that will make you stronger. The job interview that makes you nervous. That's the opportunity you need to grow. The public speech that terrifies you. That's the skill you need to master. The bold decision that feels overwhelming. That's the path to a life beyond your wildest dreams. But here's what separates the great from the average. The great ones feel fear and take action anyway. They don't wait until they feel confident. They don't wait for the fear to disappear. They step into it. They embrace it. They use it as fuel. Think about the most successful, powerful, and respected people in history. Every single one of them had fears. They had doubts. They had moments where they wanted to quit. But what made them different? They refused to let fear dictate their future. They trained themselves to take action, no matter how uncomfortable it felt. And that's exactly what you need to start doing today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Because every second you wait, every moment you let fear win, you're reinforcing the habit of running away. And the longer you run, the harder it becomes to break free. Imagine two versions of yourself. One version lets fear control every decision. They hesitate, they overthink, they avoid challenges. And because of that, their life never changes. The other version, the version you have the power to become, faces fear daily. They take risks. They step outside their comfort zone. They feel the fear, but they push forward anyway. And because of that, they grow stronger, more confident, more unstoppable. The choice is yours. But understand this, if you don't start facing your fears today, you never will. Fear will always have an excuse ready for you. It will always find a reason to keep you stuck. The only way to break the cycle is to act before your mind has a chance to talk you out of it. The biggest lie people believe about fear is that it will go away if they avoid it long enough. But the truth is, fear only grows when you run from it. It becomes more powerful. It gains more control over your decisions. The only way to weaken it is to confront it. When you expose your fears to the light, they shrink. When you take action despite the fear, It loses its grip on you. And when you do this every single day, when you train yourself to face discomfort instead of avoiding it, you become someone who is no longer controlled by fear. If you want proof, look at your own life. Think about something you once feared that no longer scares you. Maybe it was learning to drive, speaking to new people, or starting a new job. At first it felt impossible. You were nervous, uncertain, maybe even terrified. But the more you did it, the easier it became. Eventually, the fear disappeared. Why? Because you faced it. That's how fear works. It only has power over you when you avoid it. The second you attack it, it weakens. Now imagine what would happen if you applied that same principle to every fear in your life. Imagine if, instead of running from what scares you, you ran toward it. How different would your life be? How much stronger, bolder, and more confident would you become? The reality is, there is no secret to conquering fear. There is no magic formula. The only way to beat fear is to face it over and over again until it no longer controls you. And the best way to do that, make it a daily habit. Start small. Do one thing every day that scares you. Speak up in a meeting. Take the first step on a project you've been avoiding. Introduce yourself to someone new. The action itself doesn't matter. What matters is that you're training your brain to move forward despite fear. Because once you develop that habit, nothing will be able to stop you. Fear is a liar. It convinces you that you're not capable, that you're not strong enough, that failure will destroy you. But the truth is, fear is nothing more than a test. It's a challenge designed to see if you're willing to push past your limitations. And the moment you stop running, stop hiding, and start fighting back, you take your power back. You become someone who is no longer controlled by fear, but someone who controls fear itself. Chapter 2. Transform your life by mastering one habit today. Your life is nothing more than a collection of your habits. Everything you do, everything you achieve, and everything you become is the result of the small repeated actions you take every single day. The difference between those who struggle and those who succeed is not luck, talent, or intelligence. It's habits. The people who win in life don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They build habits that make success inevitable. They create systems that force them to improve, grow, and push forward, even when they don't feel like it. And if you want to transform your life, you don't need to overhaul everything at once. You don't need a massive plan. You just need to master one habit today. Most people never make real progress because they overwhelm themselves with change. They set goals that are too big, too complicated, and too unrealistic. They try to do everything at once. Wake up at 5 a.m., work out, read 10 books, start a business, eat healthy, meditate, journal, and within a week, they're exhausted. They fall back into old patterns, convinced that they're not disciplined enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. But the truth is, they set themselves up for failure. Change doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the small, consistent actions that compound over time. And the most powerful transformation you can make starts with just one habit. Think about it. One habit mastered today creates momentum. If you commit to waking up 30 minutes earlier and using that time to focus on something meaningful, reading, exercising, writing, you're training yourself to take control of your life. If you decide that from this moment forward, you'll drink more water every day, you're proving to yourself that you can follow through. If you make it a rule to spend 10 minutes each morning planning your day, you'll suddenly find yourself more focused, more productive, more in control. And once you build that first habit, everything else becomes easier. Success in one area leads to success in another. It's like a domino effect. One small change can shift the entire direction of your life. The problem is, most people don't trust the process. They want instant results. They want success now, happiness now, transformation now. But that's not how life works. If you plant a seed today, you don't expect a tree tomorrow. You water it. You nurture it. You give it time. And that's exactly how habits work. They feel small in the moment, but over time, they shape everything about you. Every great athlete, every successful entrepreneur, every person you admire, they all started with one simple habit. And they stuck with it until it became a part of who they are. So what's the habit you're going to master today? Maybe it's waking up without hitting snooze. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book. Maybe it's writing down your goals every morning. It doesn't matter what it is. It only matters that you commit to it. No excuses, no negotiations, no waiting until you feel ready. Because the truth is, you'll never feel ready. Your mind will always try to talk you out of it. It will always find a reason to delay, to procrastinate, to push it off until tomorrow. But if you let that voice win, you'll stay exactly where you are, and nothing will change. The real difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't intelligence, talent, or resources. It's discipline. It's the ability to show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. It's the commitment to take action even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient. And that kind of discipline is built through habits. When you train yourself to do something consistently, regardless of how you feel, you're programming your brain for success. You're proving to yourself that you are in control. Look at your life right now. Every struggle, every challenge, every frustration you have, it can be traced back to your habits. If you feel stuck, it's because of the habits you've built. If you're not where you want to be, it's because of the choices you make daily. But the good news is, the opposite is also true. If you want to change your future, change your habits. If you want to become stronger, more disciplined, more successful, start by mastering just one habit today. Because here's the truth, the person who wins is not the one who starts the most things. It's the one who finishes. It's the one who builds a habit, masters it, and then moves on to the next. That's how real change happens. That's how you go from who you are today to who you want to become. And the best part, you don't have to wait. You don't need permission. You don't need motivation. You just need to take action right now. Chapter 3. Break your limits by challenging yourself every morning. The moment you wake up, you have a choice. You can either rise with purpose or let the day control you. The people who stay stuck in life are the ones who keep waiting for the perfect moment, the right energy, the right motivation to take action. But the ones who grow, the ones who become unstoppable, are those who challenge themselves every single morning. They don't wait for life to push them. They push themselves first, because the truth is, if you don't challenge yourself daily, life will challenge you in ways you're not prepared for. And if you don't push past your own limits, those limits will define you forever. Most people never realize how much they're capable of because they never test themselves. They wake up and do the same things, think the same thoughts, and repeat the same routines that keep them stuck. But what if you started each morning by doing something that forced you to grow? What if, instead of rolling out of bed and going through the motions, you made it a habit to do one thing that made you uncomfortable? That's how you break limits, by pushing yourself beyond what feels easy, what feels normal, what feels safe. Every great person you admire, every high achiever, every unstoppable force you see in the world, they all have one thing in common. They challenge themselves daily. They step into discomfort on purpose. They do what others won't, and that's why they get results others never will. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you take control of your day before the world takes control of you. The moment you wake up, your mind will try to negotiate with you. It will try to convince you to stay in your comfort zone, to avoid the challenge, to take the easy path. And that's the exact moment you must override that voice. Because if you listen to it, you stay the same. But if you override it, if you tell yourself, I don't care how I feel, I'm going to do it anyway, that's the moment you become unstoppable. Imagine waking up and immediately doing something that pushes you. Maybe it's getting out of bed the second your alarm goes off, instead of hitting snooze. Maybe it's doing a cold shower, a tough workout, or committing to 10 minutes of deep work before touching your phone. Whatever it is, when you start your day with a challenge, you rewire your brain for resilience. You build mental toughness. You prove to yourself that you are in control, not your emotions, not your excuses, not your doubts. And that confidence carries over into everything else you do. Most people think confidence comes from success, but it doesn't. It comes from proving to yourself that you can handle discomfort. It comes from showing up, even when it's hard. Every time you push past that voice telling you to quit, you build self-trust. And the more you trust yourself, the more unstoppable you become. The reason most people fail isn't because they lack talent or intelligence, it's because they quit the moment things get hard. They stop the moment they feel resistance. But the ones who win, they lean into that resistance. They understand that the challenge is where growth happens. Think about the times in your life when you grew the most. Was it when things were easy? Was it when you were comfortable? No. You grew the most when you were pushed, when you had to rise to the occasion, when you had no choice but to become stronger. So why wait for life to force you into growth when you can create it yourself? Why wait for adversity to shape you when you can shape yourself every single morning? That's the difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise. One group waits for a challenge, the other creates it. If you want to break your limits, stop waiting for motivation and start creating discipline. Stop hoping for change and start forcing yourself to grow. Every morning, do one thing that makes you stronger. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be intentional, because if you wake up and challenge yourself first, nothing the day throws at you will ever feel impossible. You won't be afraid of hard things because you'll have already proven to yourself that you can handle them. And that kind of mindset, that's what makes a person unstoppable. Chapter 4. Elevate your mindset by focusing on daily gratitude. Every single day you are given a choice. You can focus on what's missing, what's wrong, what isn't going your way, or you can shift your mind toward gratitude and start seeing the opportunities that are already in front of you. The problem is, most people wake up and immediately drown themselves in negativity. They check their phones, consume bad news, compare themselves to others, and focus on everything that makes them feel like they're not enough. And they wonder why they feel stuck. But the truth is, your mindset is your reality. If you want to elevate your life, you have to elevate your mind first. Gratitude is not just some feel-good idea, it's a weapon. It's the fastest way to rewire your brain, increase your resilience, and transform the way you experience life. The way most people live is backward. They tell themselves they'll be grateful when they succeed, when they have more money, when life gets easier. But that's not how it works. You don't wait for success to feel grateful. You feel grateful first, and success follows. Why? Because gratitude changes the way you see the world. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from frustration to possibility, from stress to clarity. And the moment you start training your mind to focus on what's good, you unlock a level of power that most people will never access. You stop seeing problems as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. You stop living in a state of fear and start operating from a state of strength. And most importantly, you stop waiting for happiness and start creating it. The biggest mistake people make is thinking gratitude is just a feeling. It's not. It's a practice. It's a discipline. It's a decision you make every single day, no matter what's happening in your life. You don't just wake up and hope to feel grateful. You train your mind to find things to appreciate, even in the toughest moments. And when you do that, you take control of your emotions instead of letting your emotions control you. This is what separates those who thrive from those who struggle. It's not their circumstances, it's not their luck, it's not even their talent, it's their mindset. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who have the easiest lives. They're the ones who have mastered the ability to find strength, wisdom, and gratitude even when things get hard. The truth is, you will always find what you focus on. If you train your brain to look for what's missing, what's unfair, what's stressful, you will always feel like life is against you. But if you train your brain to look for what's good, for what's possible, for what's already working in your favor, you will start to feel powerful. And when you feel powerful, you act differently. You take better actions, make better decisions, and attract better results. That's why gratitude isn't just a nice idea, it's a game changer. It rewires your brain to operate at a higher level. It shifts your energy so that you stop reacting to life and start creating the life you want. If you want to change your life, stop waiting for things to go perfectly before you feel grateful. Instead, start looking for things to appreciate now. Wake up and find 3 things you're grateful for before you even get out of bed. Train your mind to focus on what's good before the world tries to distract you with negativity. And most importantly, learn to be grateful for your struggles, not just your successes. Because the struggles are what make you stronger. The challenges are what shape you into the person you're meant to be. And when you start seeing even your hardships as something to be grateful for, you unlock a level of resilience that makes you truly unstoppable. The world is full of people who are waiting for happiness. They think if they just achieve more, buy more, or prove themselves more, then they'll finally feel satisfied. But the ones who actually live fulfilled lives, they're the ones who understand that gratitude is the key. They don't wait for happiness, they create it. They don't complain about what they don't have, they maximize what they do have. And because of that, they elevate their lives beyond anything they once thought possible. You have that same power, but it starts with a decision to stop focusing on what's missing and start focusing on the abundance that's already in front of you. When you do that, everything changes. Chapter 5. Silence your doubts by taking bold action now. Doubt is the killer of dreams. It sneaks in when you're about to take that first step. It whispers in your ear when you're on the edge of something great. It fills your mind with excuses, convincing you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that maybe, just maybe, you should wait. But waiting is the greatest mistake you can make, because while you hesitate, while you overthink, while you let fear creep in, the opportunity slips away. The truth is, doubt will always be there. It will always try to pull you back into your comfort zone, into safety, into a life that feels predictable and controlled. But here's the reality: growth never happens in safety. Progress never happens in hesitation. The only way to silence your doubts is to move forward, to take bold action now before the excuses pile up, before fear has a chance to take over, before you talk yourself out of what you know deep down you need to do. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or intelligence. They fail because they never start. They spend years waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready, waiting for some kind of sign that tells them it's time. But that moment never comes, because confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. And the only way to build it is by stepping forward, by doing the thing that scares you, by proving to yourself that you are capable. The biggest lie people believe is that you need to be confident before you take action. But confidence is not a requirement. It's a result. It's what happens after you take action, after you push through the fear, after you show yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. If you wait to feel ready, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. The mind will always try to keep you in the familiar because the familiar feels safe. Even if it's a life you don't want, even if it's a situation that makes you miserable, your brain will trick you into staying because at least it's predictable. That's why breaking free requires action. It requires movement. It requires you to make a decision and then commit fully, without hesitation. Because the moment you take action, something powerful happens, your mind shifts. Instead of being stuck in overthinking, instead of drowning in self-doubt, you start to feel momentum. You start to feel energy. And suddenly, all those fears, all those excuses, all those doubts that felt so overwhelming, they begin to lose their power. You see, doubt feeds on inaction. The longer you wait, the stronger it grows. But when you move, when you act, when you step forward, despite the fear, doubt has no choice but to shrink. People who succeed are not fearless. They are not immune to doubt. They simply don't let it stop them. They understand that the only way to quiet the voice of uncertainty is to drown it out with action. They don't waste time wondering if they can do it. They decide that they will. They don't analyze every worst-case scenario. They focus on what's in their control. And the moment they commit, fully, without second-guessing, they build unstoppable momentum. That's what separates those who win from those who never even get in the game. The winners take action despite the fear, while the rest wait for fear to disappear. Right now you are standing at a crossroads. You can stay where you are, stuck in your head, overthinking every possibility, making up reasons why it's not the right time. Or you can make the decision that will change your life. You can decide that doubt will not dictate your future. You can decide that fear will not control your actions. You can decide that you will move forward, not because you feel ready, but because you refuse to stay stuck. And once you make that decision, once you truly commit, everything changes. Because action creates clarity. Action builds confidence. Action silences doubt. Whatever it is you've been hesitating on, whatever goal, whatever dream, whatever step forward you know you need to take, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel more prepared. Right now, because the more you wait, the harder it gets. The longer you hesitate, the stronger doubt becomes. But when you act, when you push forward, when you prove to yourself that you are in control, that's when everything shifts. That's when you become unstoppable. Chapter 6. Reclaim your power by saying no to negativity. Negativity is like a slow poison that seeps into your mind, clouds your vision, and drains your energy before you even realize what's happening. It doesn't come in all at once. It creeps in through small moments, toxic conversations, self-doubt, and the people around you who project their fears onto your life. And if you don't take control, if you don't make a conscious decision to reject it, it will control you. It will dictate your mood, steal your focus, and make you question your own potential. But you have the power to shut it down. You have the power to say no. Because the moment you stop entertaining negativity, the moment you refuse to let it take up space in your mind, you take back control of your life. Every day, you're either feeding positivity or feeding negativity, and whatever you feed grows. When you constantly expose yourself to complaints, gossip, criticism, and self-doubt, your mind absorbs it like a sponge. It influences your emotions, your confidence, your ability to take action. That's why the most successful, focused, and driven people protect their energy at all costs. They don't waste time on negativity. They don't engage in pointless drama. They don't entertain thoughts that make them feel weak, unworthy, or stuck. They recognize that what they allow into their minds directly impacts their future. And that's the truth most people ignore. If you keep surrounding yourself with negativity, if you keep engaging in the same toxic conversations, if you keep letting other people's pessimism infect your mindset, you will never break free. The only way to reclaim your power is to draw a line, to decide that you will not participate in anything that weakens your spirit, distracts you from your purpose, or pulls you away from your goals. Negativity thrives on attention. The more you acknowledge it, argue with it, or try to prove yourself against it, the stronger it gets. That's why one of the most powerful things you can do is to stop engaging. Stop justifying yourself to people who don't want to see you win. Stop trying to convince small-minded people of your vision. Stop wasting energy on things that don't serve your growth. The world is filled with people who will try to bring you down, who will try to make you doubt yourself, who will push their insecurities onto you because they are too afraid to chase their own dreams. But their negativity is not your responsibility. Their doubts do not define your reality. The moment you stop giving them attention, the moment you shift your focus back to your own journey, their words lose all power. It's not just about people, it's about your own mind. You have to recognize when negativity is creeping in through your own thoughts, when you're allowing fear to dictate your actions, when you're feeding yourself excuses instead of solutions. Because your mind will believe whatever you tell it. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, what's missing, what's hard, your brain will reinforce that belief. But if you shift your focus to what's possible, to what's within your control, to what you can do right now to move forward, you take your power back. Your mind is like a battlefield, and every thought is a choice. You can either choose to fight for yourself or against yourself. The people who transform their lives are the ones who refuse to be prisoners of their own negative thinking. They recognize that their thoughts shape their reality, and they make it a priority to protect their mindset from anything that weakens them. This is where most people struggle. They think they can allow negativity in their life and still expect to grow. But you can't plant seeds in poisoned soil and expect them to flourish. You can't build a strong, unshakable mindset while surrounding yourself with people who complain, doubt, and bring constant drama. You can't create a powerful future while clinging to habits, thoughts, and environments that pull you backward. Growth requires discipline, not just in your actions, but in what you allow into your mind. And that means making tough choices. It means cutting off conversations that drain you. It means walking away from friendships that no longer align with who you're becoming. It means shutting down negative self-talk the moment it starts. It means making a conscious effort every single day to feed your mind with strength, with inspiration, with reminders of what you are capable of. If you want to take control of your life, you have to take control of what you focus on. You have to stop giving energy to anything that keeps you stuck. You have to stop participating in negativity, whether it's from the outside world or from your own mind. Because the moment you say no to negativity, the moment you refuse to entertain it, you free up space for something greater. You make room for confidence, for clarity, for progress. You make room for the version of yourself that isn't weighed down by doubt and distractions. And once you get to that point, once you reclaim your power, nothing and no one can stop you. Chapter 7. Ignite your potential by embracing daily discipline. Your potential is not determined by what you dream of doing one day. It's shaped by what you do every single day. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck in mediocrity isn't luck, talent, or intelligence. It's discipline. It's the ability to show up, put in the work, and stay committed even when no one is watching, even when motivation fades, even when the results aren't immediate. Because discipline is the ultimate game changer. It transforms wishful thinking into unstoppable action, turns small habits into massive success, and separates those who make progress from those who make excuses. If you want to ignite your true potential, you have to stop waiting for inspiration, stop hoping for the perfect moment, and start committing to disciplined action every single day. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that discipline is restrictive, that it takes away their freedom. But the truth is, discipline is the very thing that gives you freedom. It frees you from inconsistency, from regret, from the frustration of always feeling stuck. When you wake up every day and follow through on your commitments, when you train your mind to push forward even when you don't feel like it, you become unstoppable. You don't waste time waiting for motivation. You don't let distractions pull you away from your goals. You don't allow temporary emotions to dictate your actions. Instead, you take control of your life by taking control of your habits. And that's how real transformation happens, not in one big leap, but in the small, consistent decisions you make every day. People who rely on motivation will always struggle, because motivation is temporary. Some days you'll feel fired up, ready to take on the world. Other days you'll feel tired, uninspired, and tempted to procrastinate. If you let those moments control you, you will never achieve anything great. But when you develop discipline, when you train yourself to act regardless of how you feel, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you stop depending on external circumstances and start creating your own results. You don't need to feel like doing something to get it done. You just need to commit to it, execute, and keep moving forward. The people who reach the highest levels of success aren't the ones who always feel motivated. They're the ones who do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. The real question is, are you willing to do what most people won't? Are you willing to wake up early, stay focused, and work on your craft even when no one is cheering you on? Are you willing to say no to distractions, eliminate excuses, and push through the resistance that tries to hold you back? Because that's what discipline demands. It requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to comfort, to laziness, to every excuse your mind throws at you. But the reward is worth it. Because the more disciplined you become, the more control you have over your own destiny. You no longer leave your success up to chance. You no longer waste time on things that don't matter. You become the kind of person who makes things happen, instead of waiting for things to happen. Most people struggle because they want results without the process. They want success without the discipline. But that's not how it works. You can't expect to transform your life if you're not willing to put in the work daily. Every major achievement, every breakthrough, every life-changing moment is built on the foundation of small, consistent habits. The workouts you don't skip, the books you read, the extra effort you put in when others stop, the ability to show up and execute even when you don't see immediate results. That's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who stay stuck. The moment you stop negotiating with your excuses and start committing to disciplined action, everything changes. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for the right time, the right mood, the right situation, because you understand that real success isn't built on convenience. It's built on commitment. It's built on the daily decision to push forward, to outwork your past self, to show up for your goals no matter what. And once you develop that level of discipline, nothing can stop you. You won't need external validation. You won't need permission. You will have full control over your actions, your mindset, and your results. That's when you become truly powerful. That's when you ignite your full potential. Chapter 8. Unlock success by committing to one small change. Most people believe that success is about making massive, life-altering changes overnight. They think they need to wake up one morning and suddenly have everything figured out. But that's not how real success works. It's not built on one big moment. It's built on small, consistent changes that compound over time. One small change, made daily, can completely transform your life. It doesn't feel dramatic at first. It doesn't seem groundbreaking. But over time, that one decision, that one shift in action, that one commitment to improvement creates unstoppable momentum. The problem is, most people overlook the small things because they seem insignificant. They tell themselves it's not enough, so they never start. But the truth is, success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing one thing consistently until it becomes second nature. Think about it. The person who commits to reading just 10 pages a day will have read dozens of books in a year. The person who wakes up just 30 minutes earlier will have gained weeks' worth of extra time by the end of the year. The person who replaces one unhealthy habit with a productive one will experience a complete mindset shift over time. It's never about the size of the change. It's about the power of repetition. Because when you prove to yourself that you can change one thing, you start believing in your ability to change everything. That's how confidence is built, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by taking small steps that lead to massive transformation. The biggest mistake people make is underestimating the power of small actions. They set huge goals, get overwhelmed, and quit before they even begin. They convince themselves that if they can't do it all, they shouldn't do anything at all. And that's why they stay stuck. But if you just focus on one small change, one action you can take every single day, everything shifts. Because one good decision leads to another. One disciplined habit creates a chain reaction. And before you know it, you've built an entirely new mindset, an entirely new level of discipline, an entirely new reality. That's how successful people operate. They don't chase perfection, they chase progress. If you want to unlock your full potential, stop looking for the biggest transformation and start focusing on what you can improve today. Maybe it's waking up on time instead of hitting snooze. Maybe it's drinking more water, moving your body, or eliminating distractions when you work. Maybe it's choosing discipline over comfort, even when no one is watching. Whatever it is, commit to it. Stay consistent. Prove to yourself that you can follow through. Because once you develop that habit of showing up, of doing the small things right, nothing can stop you. Success won't feel impossible anymore. It will feel inevitable. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack consistency. They start strong, but the moment they don't see immediate results, they give up. They don't understand that greatness isn't built in days, It's built in years of disciplined action. One small change repeated over time will take you further than any short-lived burst of motivation ever could. That's why the most successful people in the world focus on systems, not just goals. They don't just aim for success, they build habits that guarantee it. And it all starts with committing to one change today. If you're waiting for the right time, stop. If you're waiting for motivation, stop. If you're waiting for someone to push you, stop. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to force you to change. The power is in your hands, and it starts with the smallest decision. One habit, one shift in mindset, one daily commitment. That's all it takes to set yourself on a completely different path. It might not feel significant at first, but over time, that small shift will be the reason you create the life you've always wanted. Start now, keep going, and watch how your life transforms before your eyes. Chapter 9. Strengthen your mind by overcoming daily obstacles. Every single day, life will test you. Some days it'll be small things, waking up late, dealing with traffic, handling an unexpected setback at work. Other days the challenges will feel overwhelming, failure, rejection, self-doubt, people trying to break you down. But here's what separates those who rise from those who crumble: the ability to push forward, no matter what stands in the way. Strength isn't built in comfort. It's forged in struggle. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to grow, to toughen your mind, and to prove to yourself that nothing has the power to stop you unless you let it. Most people don't struggle because they're weak. They struggle because they've never trained their minds to handle resistance. The moment things get hard, they break. The moment they face rejection, they quit. The moment things don't go as planned, they convince themselves that they're not good enough. But that's not the way winners operate. The strongest minds are built through discomfort, through adversity, through pushing past what feels impossible. Every time you fight through a challenge instead of running from it, you grow. Every time you refuse to let failure define you, you become stronger. That's how champions are made, not by avoiding obstacles, but by facing them head-on and refusing to back down. The mistake most people make is thinking that mental toughness is something you're born with. It's not. It's something you develop by choosing resilience every single day. It's in how you respond when life throws setbacks in your way. Do you let frustration and negativity control you? Or do you stand up, take a deep breath, and keep moving forward? The truth is, the obstacles you face aren't there to break you. They're there to build you. They're there to test how badly you want the life you say you do. And if you're serious about strengthening your mind, you don't avoid struggle, you embrace it. Most people wait for things to get easier, but life doesn't work that way. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to challenge you. Every time you overcome something difficult, you level up. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you gain control over your mind. Every time you refuse to let negativity dictate your actions, you reclaim your power. That's why the most successful people in the world don't just endure obstacles, they thrive in them. They understand that every challenge is a stepping stone, every setback is fuel, every hardship is a lesson in disguise. If you want to build mental strength, stop avoiding discomfort. Stop running from the things that scare you. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment, because they don't exist. You have to train your mind to be unshakable, to be relentless, to keep going when everything inside you wants to quit. That's what separates the weak from the unstoppable. Most people fold under pressure, but the strong use that pressure to sharpen their focus. They turn pain into progress. They turn struggle into strength. They take every failure, and use it as proof that they're capable of more. You have to stop letting obstacles define you. Just because something is difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. Just because you failed once doesn't mean you'll fail forever. Just because people doubt you doesn't mean they're right. The only thing that matters is whether or not you keep going, whether or not you get back up, whether or not you decide that no excuse, no setback, no moment of weakness is going to control your future. That's the mindset that changes lives. That's the mindset that creates warriors. Every single day, you will have a choice to give in or to push through, to listen to doubt or to silence it with action, to let challenges make you weaker or to let them make you unstoppable. If you want to strengthen your mind, commit to growth, commit to handling resistance with power, commit to showing up, no matter how difficult the day gets. Because at the end of the day, you either let obstacles break you, or you use them to build a version of yourself that cannot be stopped. Chapter 10. Build unstoppable confidence by conquering small fears. You're only one decision away from unlocking the version of yourself that you've always dreamed of. Every single day, you encounter small fears, little doubts that creep into your mind, tiny moments that challenge your courage. It could be something as simple as speaking up in a meeting, trying something new, or stepping outside of your comfort zone in ways that feel uncomfortable. These small fears are everywhere, and they're all waiting for you to either face them or let them control you. But here's the secret. Every fear you conquer, no matter how small, builds your confidence in ways that stack up over time. If you want to become truly unstoppable, you have to start by tackling these little fears head-on. That's how you grow. That's how you build the mindset of a person who refuses to be stopped. When you face your fears, you're not just pushing through a moment of discomfort. You're proving to yourself that you are stronger than your own doubts. You're proving that you don't need the perfect conditions to succeed. You don't need everything to line up. You just need the courage to move, the confidence to act, and the willingness to fail and try again. Small fears are the gatekeepers to your growth. They're like weightlifting for your mind and your soul. The more you face them, the stronger you become. Take a moment to think about your own life. What are the fears that are holding you back? Maybe it's the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, or even the fear of judgment from others. These fears keep you trapped in the same place, preventing you from stepping into the next version of yourself. But the truth is, those fears are not as powerful as you think. They only have power because you give it to them. The moment you decide to face them, to walk through them instead of running away, you start to rewrite your story. You start to change the narrative from "I'm afraid" to "I'm unstoppable." Now here's the key. Don't focus on the big, overwhelming fears right away. Start small. Start by taking action on the things that scare you just a little. Every time you do something that scares you, you reinforce a belief in yourself. Each step forward is like laying down another brick in your confidence foundation. When you speak up in a conversation, when you normally would have stayed quiet, you win. When you take a risk in your career or personal life, even if it feels uncomfortable, you win. These small wins build up faster than you realize, and before long, you'll start tackling bigger fears with the same sense of calm determination. Think about the most confident people you know. They didn't start out fearless. They started by doing things that scared them, just like you. They started by choosing to face the small fears that would have otherwise held them back. They started by showing up, even when they didn't feel ready. Confidence doesn't come from having all the answers or being perfect. It comes from trusting yourself enough to try, even when you're not sure you'll succeed. It comes from the courage to step into the unknown, to put yourself out there, and to be willing to fail and keep going. The more you face your fears, the more confidence you build. You can't help it. It's a natural byproduct of taking action. The more you show up for yourself, the more your belief in yourself grows. And as that confidence builds, you'll notice something amazing happening. The things that used to terrify you, the obstacles that once seemed impossible, start to lose their power. They start to feel smaller, easier to handle. What once felt like a huge mountain now feels like a bump in the road. And that's the true magic of conquering small fears. It's not about eliminating fear altogether. It's about diminishing its power over you. This is why it's so important to take consistent action, even if it's just one small step at a time. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to take one step toward what scares you every single day. You need to embrace the discomfort, trust in your ability to overcome, and celebrate the small wins along the way. Each step forward is a victory. Each fear you conquer is proof that you're growing. When you look back at your life a year from now, what will you see? Will you see the person who let fear control them? Or will you see the person who faced their fears, one small step at a time, and built unstoppable confidence? The choice is yours. You are stronger than your fears. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. And every time you choose courage over fear, you're not just building confidence, you're unlocking the power to achieve anything you set your mind to. Keep conquering those small fears. Keep taking action, no matter how small it seems. Because with each step you take, you're not just building confidence, you're building a legacy of unstoppable greatness. Chapter 11. Shape your future by controlling your daily thoughts. Your thoughts hold the power to shape everything in your life. Right now, at this very moment, you have the ability to create the life you want simply by controlling what you think about. It's not some abstract idea or wishful thinking, it's a reality. What you focus on grows, and if you want to transform your future, it all starts with what you choose to think about on a daily basis. The power of your mind is more incredible than you realize, and when you consciously harness that power, you become the architect of your own destiny. Imagine the life you could live if you controlled your thoughts the way a master craftsman controls their tools. What could you accomplish if you stopped allowing your negative thoughts to dictate your future and instead chose to think in ways that empowered you to take massive action? This isn't just about wishful thinking or staying positive all the time. It's about discipline. It's about making the decision to take control of your thoughts, because you know that just like an athlete trains their body every single day, you must train your mind. And when you train your mind to focus on the right things, to focus on growth, possibility, and action, that's when you truly begin to shape the future you've always dreamed of. If you're serious about your growth, your success, and your transformation, it all starts in the space between your ears. Think about it. Your thoughts determine how you feel. How you feel determines what actions you take, and the actions you take determine your results. So, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that enters your mind? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Or do you choose to start your day with thoughts of gratitude, power, and possibilities? Every thought you have sends a ripple through your life. It affects the way you show up to your work, your relationships, and your goals. You have the power to program your mind. You have the ability to decide that you won't allow negativity, doubt, or the limiting beliefs of your past to take over your future. It all starts with controlling your daily thoughts. Now, this isn't about ignoring the challenges you face. This isn't about pretending that everything is perfect when it's not. What this is about is choosing to focus on solutions, opportunities, and the possibilities that exist for you, no matter where you are. Life will always throw challenges at you, but when you control your thoughts, turn those challenges into stepping stones. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow, and every setback becomes a setup for a bigger comeback. You see, your mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. The thoughts you repeat to yourself, the things you say about yourself and your future, your subconscious mind takes as fact. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, or that your dreams are out of reach, your mind will start working to make that a reality. But the opposite is also true. If you start thinking in terms of possibility, if you start affirming your greatness and the success you are destined for, your mind will start to work towards that as well. The key is consistency. This isn't a one-time fix or a quick trick. This is a lifestyle change. If you truly want to shape your future, you have to control your thoughts every day. This is where the power of daily discipline comes in. Every thought you entertain is a choice, and with every choice you make, you're either reinforcing the life you have or the life you want. Imagine what would happen if you started every morning with powerful, motivating thoughts that focus on who you want to become and what you're capable of. How would that impact your day? How would that impact your actions, your attitude, and your overall outlook on life? Think about how different your future could look if you consistently made the decision to feed your mind with positivity, ambition, and vision every single day. Your future isn't a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. The people who are living their dream lives didn't get there by accident. They got there because they made the decision, day in and day out, to control their thoughts and choose a mindset that allowed them to break through barriers, take risks, and create success on their terms. Controlling your thoughts is not about suppressing negative emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about making a choice to not let those negative emotions dictate the direction of your life. It's about having the mental resilience to acknowledge challenges, but to focus your energy on what you can control and how you can move forward. When you take control of your thoughts, you start to take control of your life. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that you're in the driver's seat of your future. Imagine waking up with a mindset that is focused, positive, and determined to create something incredible. That's the power of controlling your thoughts. That's the power of taking responsibility for the way you think. Because the truth is, your future is not determined by your circumstances, it's determined by your decisions, and those decisions are made in the mind. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of life, to let your thoughts wander and allow the distractions to take over. But when you choose to control your thoughts, you step into your power. You stop letting life happen to you, and you start making life happen for you. Every single day is an opportunity to shape your future. Every single thought is a choice. And with every thought you choose, you're building the life you want, one thought at a time. Your mind is a tool. It can be your greatest asset, or it can be your biggest obstacle. The choice is yours. So what will you choose? Will you continue to let random thoughts control your future? Or will you take the wheel and drive your destiny toward the life you truly desire? The decision is in your hands, and the time to shape your future is now. Chapter 12. Fuel your growth by embracing every failure as feedback. Failure isn't the end of the road, it's the beginning of a new chapter. Every time you fall short, every time things don't go as planned, that's not a reason to quit. No, it's a reason to learn, to adjust, and to come back stronger. We've all been conditioned to fear failure, to think of it as something shameful, something to avoid at all costs. But what if I told you that failure is the greatest teacher you could ever have? What if I told you that every failure you experience is actually a stepping stone to your success, a lesson that will propel you forward if you're willing to listen to it? Embrace failure, because it's the key to your growth, your resilience, and your ultimate success. Think about the most successful people you know. The ones who are living their dreams, who've made it to the top. How many times do you think they've failed? How many mistakes have they made along the way? The answer is countless. They didn't get to where they are by being perfect. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure. They got to where they are because they understood that failure was part of the process, a necessary part of the journey that shaped them into who they are today. And here's the thing, failure didn't break them, it made them stronger. It taught them lessons they couldn't have learned any other way. And when you learn to look at failure the same way, you'll begin to see just how powerful it can be in shaping your own success. Every time you fail, you gain valuable feedback. It's like a guide, a roadmap that points out where you went wrong, where you can improve, and what you need to adjust in order to get closer to your goal. But most people miss that feedback because they're too focused on the emotional sting of failure. They're so caught up in the disappointment that they don't take the time to analyze what went wrong, what could have been done differently, and what the lesson is in that experience. This is where the real magic happens, when you can look at failure not as a setback, but as an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. The most successful people aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who lean into it, who embrace it, and who use it as fuel to push forward. Think about this for a second. Every time you fail, you're getting closer to your goal. Every time you make a mistake, you're learning something new about yourself and the world around you. Failure gives you the chance to refine your approach, to build your resilience, and to develop the skills and knowledge you need to succeed. The key is to not let failure define you. Don't let it become the story you tell yourself about who you are. Instead, let it be the story of how you got stronger, how you learned, and how you refused to give up. This mindset shift is what separates those who eventually achieve their dreams from those who give up too soon. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. It's easy to throw in the towel when you fail. But the true winners, the ones who make it to the top, are the ones who understand that failure is just another part of the process. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. When you adopt this mindset, you begin to see failure as a valuable tool, a source of growth that can help you refine your path to success. Imagine how unstoppable you would be if you viewed every failure as feedback. Instead of feeling defeated, you'd feel empowered, knowing that you now have the knowledge and insight to improve. Instead of worrying about making mistakes, you'd be eager to try again, because you'd know that every attempt brings you closer to your goal. You would approach challenges with confidence, because you'd understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of the process, the journey, and the steps you need to take to get where you want to go. Here's the thing, failure isn't personal. It's not an indictment of your abilities or your character. It's simply part of the journey. If you look at any successful person's story, you'll see a trail of failures behind them. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure. They got there by learning from it, by picking themselves up after every fall, and trying again with more knowledge and more determination. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that the successful people never fail, it's that they know how to learn from their failures and keep moving forward. So the next time you fail, take a moment to appreciate the feedback you've just received. Don't dwell on the disappointment or the frustration. Instead, ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I do better next time? What adjustments can I make to keep moving forward? When you approach failure this way, it becomes a powerful tool that propels you toward your goals rather than something that holds you back. Failure is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's an essential part of the growth process, and it's a gift that keeps on giving if you're willing to learn from it. The more you fail, the more you grow. The more you grow, the closer you get to your dreams. So don't be afraid of failure. Embrace it, let it be the feedback that fuels your growth and propels you toward the success you deserve. Chapter 13. Empower your journey by choosing courage over comfort. The path you take toward your dreams is never going to be lined with comfort. In fact, comfort is often the enemy of progress. If you're waiting for the perfect moment when everything feels easy and safe, you'll be waiting forever. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself beyond what you know, beyond what feels safe, and into the unknown. If you want to truly empower your journey, you have to choose courage over comfort. It's that simple. It's that powerful. And it's the only way to achieve anything meaningful in life. Think about it for a second. How many times have you avoided taking action because it felt too risky? How many opportunities have you let slip away because you were afraid of what might happen if you tried something new? The truth is, every time you choose comfort, you're choosing to stay exactly where you are. You're choosing to avoid the discomfort of growth. But the reality is, nothing extraordinary ever happens in the comfort zone. In fact, it's in those moments when you step out of your comfort zone, when you embrace uncertainty and face your fears head-on, that you create the life you've always dreamed of. This isn't just about taking risks for the sake of taking risks. This is about recognizing that growth, success, and personal fulfillment require you to face challenges that feel uncomfortable. It's about understanding that the only way to get better, to achieve your goals, and to become the person you want to be, is by doing the things that scare you. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you're not just taking a step forward in your journey, you're transforming into a version of yourself that is stronger, more resilient, and more capable than ever before. Choosing courage over comfort means doing the hard things. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when everything in you is telling you to take the easy way out. It's about being willing to fail, to make mistakes, and to learn from every misstep along the way. It's about not letting the fear of failure hold you back from reaching for the success you deserve. It's about finding the strength to take that leap, even when you have no idea where you're going to land. But let me tell you something important, that leap is exactly what you need. It's what's going to get you where you want to go. It's what's going to turn your dreams into reality. And I promise you, every time you step into the unknown with courage, you'll be amazed at how much stronger and more capable you become. Each step you take, each choice you make, builds your confidence and strengthens your resolve. It's in those moments when you're uncertain, when you feel the fear, that you realize just how much potential you have inside of you. Think about the moments in your life when you've pushed through fear and uncertainty. Think about the times when you took a risk and stepped out of your comfort zone. Maybe it was making that difficult decision, speaking up when you felt afraid, or going after that big opportunity that seemed too good to be true. How did you feel afterward? My guess is that you felt proud, empowered, and more capable than ever. You realized that you could handle the challenges that came your way. You realized that you were capable of more than you thought. That's the magic of choosing courage over comfort. It unlocks your true potential. It shows you just how much you're capable of, even when the odds are stacked against you. When you take those risks, when you embrace the discomfort, you're not just chasing success. You're building character, resilience, and strength. You're growing into the person who can handle whatever life throws your way. And in the process you'll find that your fears start to lose their power over you. But here's the thing, the road to success is rarely a straight line. It's filled with bumps, detours and obstacles that can feel like they're trying to hold you back. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. It's all about how you respond to those obstacles. When you choose courage over comfort, you don't see obstacles as roadblocks. You see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. You see them as a sign that you're on the right path, that you're doing the work, and that you're getting closer to your goals. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you're telling the universe that you're ready for what's next. You're saying, I'm not afraid to face whatever comes my way. I'm not afraid to challenge myself. I'm not afraid to fail, because I know that failure is just another step on the road to success. When you live your life this way, with courage and confidence, you begin to realize that the only thing holding you back is your own fear. And once you break free from that fear, there's nothing stopping you. So ask yourself this, what would happen if you started choosing courage over comfort every single day? What if, instead of letting fear control your actions, you took bold, courageous steps toward your dreams? What if, every time you felt the pull of comfort, you pushed through and embraced the discomfort of growth? How much stronger would you become? How much closer would you get to your goals? The truth is, your journey is in your hands. You have the power to shape your future by choosing courage over comfort, and every decision you make will bring you one step closer to the person you're meant to be. Embrace the discomfort, choose courage, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Chapter 14. Master your emotions by practicing calm under pressure. Imagine this. You're in a high-pressure situation, maybe a big meeting, a crucial decision, or something personal that feels overwhelming. Your heart is racing, your thoughts are scattered, and every part of you wants to react, to let your emotions take the lead. But what if, in that moment, you could step back, take a deep breath, and find calm amidst the storm? What if, instead of being ruled by your emotions, you had the power to control them, to respond with clarity, focus, and strength? The truth is, mastering your emotions, especially under pressure, is not just a skill, it's a superpower. We've all been there. The pressure of the moment starts to build, and suddenly everything feels amplified. The small annoyances become huge frustrations. The tiniest setbacks feel like catastrophic failures. And in that moment, it's easy to lose control. But here's the thing, the way you handle these moments will define who you become. It's not about being perfect or never feeling overwhelmed. It's about learning how to regain control, no matter the circumstances. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It's not about pretending to be calm when you're not. It's about giving yourself the ability to choose how you respond. Emotions are powerful. They can either fuel your success or derail it. When you practice staying calm under pressure, you're not ignoring your feelings. You're simply choosing to handle them in a way that serves you, rather than letting them dictate your actions. The key to mastering your emotions is understanding that you don't have to react impulsively. The difference between reacting and responding is enormous. When you react, you're allowing your emotions to take over, and you're letting them drive your decisions. But when you respond, you pause. You create space between the stimulus and your reaction. You breathe. You think. You decide how to act in a way that aligns with your goals and values. And this simple act of pausing, of choosing your response, can make all the difference. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Calm under pressure is a practice. It's something you have to work on consistently, day after day. But the more you practice, the easier it gets. The more you train yourself to remain calm when everything around you is chaotic, the more natural it becomes to approach life's challenges with a steady hand. It's like building a muscle. At first it feels hard, awkward even, but over time you get stronger, more resilient. And soon enough, calmness becomes your default setting, even in the most intense moments. The power of practicing calm under pressure is that it allows you to think clearly. When emotions take over, your brain often goes into fight or flight mode. This means you're not making the best decisions. You're acting out of fear, frustration, or anxiety. But when you take a step back, when you practice calm, you give yourself the opportunity to think rationally, to problem solve, and to make decisions that move you forward instead of backward. Think about the most successful people you admire. Do they panic when things go wrong? Do they let their emotions get the best of them in the most stressful moments? No, they stay calm. They take a breath, focus on what needs to be done, and move forward with purpose. This doesn't mean they don't feel pressure or stress. Of course they do, but they've learned to harness those emotions, to use them as fuel, rather than letting them control them. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who falter. It's the ability to stay grounded, no matter what's happening around you. Now let's talk about how to practice this. One of the best tools for mastering calm under pressure is mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply the practice of being present in the moment, without judgment. When you're mindful, you're aware of your thoughts and feelings, but you're not letting them control you. You can observe your emotions, notice the tension in your body, and acknowledge the pressure you're feeling, but you don't have to let it take over. You can still make a conscious choice to stay calm, to respond thoughtfully. Another technique is deep breathing. When we're stressed, our bodies naturally go into a heightened state of alertness, which speeds up our heart rate and makes it harder to think clearly. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you relax and regain control. It's a simple but incredibly effective tool to bring calm in the midst of chaos. When you practice deep breathing, you're sending a message to your brain that you're safe, you're in control, and you can handle whatever is in front of you. It's also helpful to reframe the situation. When you're under pressure, your mind can start to catastrophize. You start to think that everything is going wrong, that you're failing, or that the situation is worse than it actually is. But by reframing, you can shift your perspective. Instead of seeing the pressure as something to fear, see it as an opportunity. Every challenge, every stressful moment, is a chance to prove to yourself just how strong and capable you are. When you see pressure as a challenge, rather than a threat, you can stay calm and rise to meet it. And here's something crucial. Practicing calm under pressure doesn't mean you won't feel the emotions. It doesn't mean you'll never feel overwhelmed or anxious. It means you'll have the tools and the mindset to handle those emotions without letting them control you. You'll be able to step back, breathe, and make decisions that are aligned with your goals, rather than acting on impulse or emotion. Every time you practice staying calm under pressure, you're training your mind and body to handle life's challenges with grace. You're building emotional resilience. You're showing yourself that you don't have to be ruled by your emotions. You are in control, and the more you practice, the stronger you become. So remember this: the next time you face pressure, don't shy away from it. Don't let your emotions take the wheel. Instead, choose calm. Choose to respond with clarity, with strength, and with purpose. Because the more you practice this, the more powerful you become, and the more unstoppable you'll be in every area of your life. Chapter 15. Start winning by turning struggles into strength. When life throws challenges your way and the weight of the world feels like it's on your shoulders, remember this one thing: struggles aren't just obstacles to overcome, they're opportunities in disguise. What if, instead of seeing setbacks as failures, you saw them as the training ground for your strength? What if, every time you felt defeated, you viewed it as the moment that was actually shaping you into a stronger version of yourself? The truth is, winning doesn't happen by avoiding struggles. It happens by facing them head-on and using them to fuel your growth. Life isn't about a smooth ride, and it's certainly not about avoiding the bumps and bruises along the way. It's about how you rise from those challenges, how you choose to turn your pain into power and your struggles into stepping stones. Every difficulty you face has the potential to shape you, to make you stronger, more resilient, and more capable than you ever thought possible. And when you begin to see each struggle as a chance to build strength, you will find that success isn't just something that happens to you, it becomes something you create every single day. Think about it. Every person who has achieved greatness has gone through hardships. They've been knocked down, questioned themselves, faced rejection, and experienced failure. But what sets them apart is not their lack of struggles. It's how they handled those struggles. They didn't run from them or let them define their limits. They used those experiences to become stronger, more determined, and more capable of achieving what they set out to do. That's what you have to do too. You have to start winning by embracing your struggles and letting them shape you into someone unstoppable. The idea of turning struggles into strength doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It doesn't mean that the challenges won't be tough or that you won't have moments where you doubt yourself. But it does mean that you have a choice in how you respond. When you face adversity, you have two options. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can choose to let the hardships defeat you, or you can choose to turn them into the very things that push you forward. Now let's dive into how you can start using your struggles as a source of strength. First, it's important to understand that the pain you're experiencing is temporary. Every struggle you go through has an expiration date. It might feel like it's never ending in the moment, but nothing lasts forever. And the growth that comes from these experiences is permanent. When you push through the tough times, you're developing qualities like perseverance, resilience, and grit, qualities that will serve you for the rest of your life. One of the most powerful ways to turn struggles into strength is to shift your mindset. Instead of focusing on the pain or the difficulty of the situation, focus on the lesson. Ask yourself, what is this struggle teaching me? What can I learn from this? Every challenge carries with it a lesson that can help you grow. It might be a lesson in patience, in learning to be resourceful, in how to handle rejection, or in how to pick yourself up after a setback. The more you can reframe your struggles as opportunities for learning, the more powerful you will become. Another important shift is to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances. You are not defined by your struggles, but by how you choose to face them. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your challenges are unfair, that life is against you, and that you're destined to fail. But that kind of thinking will keep you stuck. Instead, start seeing yourself as a warrior, someone who rises above the struggles, someone who uses adversity as fuel to drive forward. When you change your perspective, you change your entire experience. You stop being at the mercy of your circumstances and start becoming the master of them. There's also power in accepting the struggle. Sometimes we resist difficult situations because we don't want to feel uncomfortable or challenged. But the truth is, discomfort is where the growth happens. Every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you're expanding your abilities, developing new skills, and building mental toughness. The discomfort you feel during a struggle is not a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're growing. The more you can lean into that discomfort, the more you can use it as a catalyst for transformation. You might also want to practice gratitude, even in the midst of struggles. It sounds counterintuitive, but focusing on what you're grateful for, no matter how small, can shift your energy and help you see your struggles in a new light. Gratitude helps you stay grounded and focused on the positive, rather than getting lost in the negativity of the situation. When you can find gratitude even in the hardest times, you'll find that you have more strength and resilience than you realized. But here's the most important thing: when you start turning struggles into strength, you build confidence. Every time you face a challenge and come out on the other side stronger, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. You start to believe in your own ability to rise above anything, and this belief in yourself is the foundation of success. Because the truth is, the more confident you become in your ability to overcome adversity, the more unstoppable you become. Look, no one is immune to struggles. Life will throw curveballs. You'll face challenges that seem impossible, but it's not the struggles themselves that define you, it's how you choose to face them. You have the power to turn every setback into a comeback, every failure into a lesson, and every struggle into a source of strength. And when you start winning by turning your struggles into strength, you'll realize that success isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create, every single day, through the way you choose to face life's challenges. Chapter 16. Create lasting change by focusing on what matters. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of life, the distractions, the demands, the never-ending to-do lists, and before you know it, you've lost sight of what truly matters. But here's the thing: lasting change doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things, focusing on what truly moves the needle in your life. Imagine if, every day, you woke up with the power to focus only on what truly matters. What would change in your life? What would you accomplish if you stopped wasting time on distractions and focused all your energy on what's truly important? That's the power of focus. You've probably heard that success is all about consistency, right? But it's not just about doing things every day. It's about doing the right things every day. It's about channeling your energy into activities that align with your purpose, your goals, and your vision for the future. When you focus on what matters, you create momentum, and that momentum propels you forward in ways you never thought possible. Now, I want you to really think about this for a moment. Think about all the things that have been demanding your attention lately. How much of that actually matters in the grand scheme of your life? How many of those things are aligned with your long-term goals? How much of what you've been doing is truly moving you closer to the person you want to become? If we're being honest, many of us get distracted by things that don't serve us, that don't contribute to our growth, and that don't move us closer to where we want to be. But the key to creating lasting change is learning how to prioritize. You've got to take a step back and evaluate what truly matters. What are the things that, if you focused on them, would change your life for the better? What are the activities, relationships, and commitments that align with your core values and your deepest desires? That's what you need to focus on. This isn't just about making a to-do list. It's about becoming intentional with your time and energy. The things that matter most often don't come with instant rewards. They require patience, persistence, and long-term dedication. But when you invest your time and energy in what truly matters, you're creating a foundation for lasting success. It's like planting seeds. At first you don't see much, but with consistent effort, those seeds begin to grow, and eventually you harvest the rewards of your hard work. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to be everywhere and do everything. The truth is, you can't be everywhere, and you can't do everything, so why try? Instead of spreading yourself thin, focus on what aligns with your goals and your vision. Learn to say no to the things that drain your energy and distract you from your purpose. It's okay to say no. In fact, it's necessary. When you focus on what truly matters, you create space for what's important, and that's when the magic happens. But let's take this even deeper. Focusing on what matters isn't just about making better decisions about where to put your time. It's also about focusing on the right mindset. You see, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that lasting change requires a massive overhaul. They think they need to completely reinvent themselves, change their habits overnight, and become a different person to create lasting change. But the reality is that lasting change starts from the inside out. It starts with a shift in how you think, how you approach challenges, and how you see yourself. When you focus on what matters, you stop getting caught up in the small, insignificant things that used to drag you down. You stop letting the distractions of the world take your energy away from the things that can actually change your life. And when you focus on what matters, you start to see opportunities everywhere, opportunities to grow, to serve, and to create something meaningful. The world opens up to you when you're intentional about where you direct your energy. It's not just about avoiding distractions. It's about becoming laser-focused on what you want to create in your life. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to be remembered for? What kind of impact do you want to make in this world? When you answer those questions, it becomes clear where you should direct your focus. You need to stop wasting time on things that don't matter and start putting your energy into things that will make a real difference. Here's the catch. Focusing on what matters doesn't mean you're always going to feel comfortable. It doesn't mean that every task will be easy or that the road ahead will always be smooth. But it does mean that you're aligning yourself with purpose. And when you do that, you're able to push through the hard times with determination and resilience. You're not just going through the motions anymore. You're living with intention, and that makes all the difference. And here's something else. When you focus on what matters, you start to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your vision. When you're clear about your goals, you naturally begin to gravitate toward the things and people that support those goals. It's like the universe begins to conspire with you, but it only happens when you commit to focusing on what truly matters. The key to creating lasting change is not in doing more, it's in doing the right things. It's about taking a step back, prioritizing your energy, and dedicating yourself to the things that align with your deepest desires. When you focus on what matters, you unlock a new level of clarity and purpose in your life. You stop chasing distractions and start chasing your dreams. You begin to see progress, and that progress becomes the fuel that propels you forward. So stop getting distracted by the noise of life. Stop chasing after things that don't serve your purpose. Focus on what truly matters. Prioritize the things that will move you closer to your goals, and invest your time and energy into creating the life you truly desire. That's the key to lasting change. Focus and watch your life transform. Chapter 17. Destroy excuses by acting even when it's hard. There's no time to wait. There's no time to give in to the excuses that have been holding you back for too long. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment you start stepping into your true power. It's easy to tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "I'll start next week." But here's the cold hard truth. The longer you delay, the longer it takes to create the life you want. So instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you need to take action now. even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Every single time you feel the weight of a challenge or a task that seems too big to tackle, that's when your excuses start to creep in. I'm not ready yet, you tell yourself. I'll do it when I'm feeling better. I just don't have the energy today. But guess what? Those excuses aren't real. They're just fear in disguise. They're your mind trying to keep you in your comfort zone, in a place where you're not growing, not moving forward, and not pushing yourself to become who you're meant to be. Now, I know it's easy to say all of this, but I'm not just talking about words here. I'm talking about action. You have to understand that success isn't about waiting for the stars to align. It's about stepping up and doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. The greatest achievers in the world didn't wait for everything to be perfect before they took action. They took action because they knew that the act of moving forward was the key to getting closer to their goals. So what's the key to destroying those excuses? It's simple. Act. Take the first step, no matter how small it seems. When you feel like throwing in the towel or backing away from something that's challenging, that's when you have to dig deep and push yourself even harder. Every time you fight against the urge to make excuses, you build more strength, more resilience, and more momentum. And that momentum will carry you further than any excuse ever could. Here's the thing, nobody is going to hand you your dreams. Nobody is going to come and pull you out of your comfort zone. It's up to you to take the first step. It's up to you to push through the resistance and take action even when everything inside of you is screaming, "Not today." You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start. Because when you start, everything else starts to fall into place. It's not going to be easy, and it's not always going to feel good. But guess what? The things that are worth having in life don't come easy. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who refuse to accept excuses. They understand that the hard moments are the ones that will define them, the ones that will show them how strong they really are. And when you're in the middle of those hard moments, that's when you have to remind yourself, this is where the magic happens. This is where the growth happens. This is where I'm going to break through. Now I want to challenge you to think about where you've been holding back in your own life. Maybe you've been waiting for the right time to make a move, or maybe you've been telling yourself that you'll act once things settle down. But you know what? Things aren't going to magically settle down. Life is always going to throw curveballs. There will always be challenges. There will always be moments when you feel like giving up. The difference between the people who succeed and the people who don't is that the successful ones keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. They don't wait for things to be perfect. They act in the face of difficulty, because they know that action is what creates results. And here's the most powerful part of all. When you start acting, even when it's hard, you begin to change your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who gets things done, no matter what. You stop being the person who makes excuses and start becoming the person who takes ownership of their life. This shift is everything. It's the difference between staying stuck in your current situation and breaking free to create the life you've always wanted. I want you to think about a time in your life when you did something hard, something that in the moment felt impossible. Maybe it was a big project at work, a difficult personal challenge, or a goal you were working toward that seemed way out of reach. When you look back, I bet you didn't succeed because it was easy. You succeeded because you kept going, even when it was tough. You succeeded because you refused to give in to the voice inside your head, telling you to quit. And that's the power of action. The beauty of this is that every time you take action, even when it's hard, you strengthen your muscle for resilience. You begin to rewire your brain to seek out solutions instead of problems. You train yourself to take on challenges with confidence, knowing that you've faced tough situations before and come out the other side stronger. And every time you do this, you build a momentum that makes it easier to take the next step, and the next one after that. It's a snowball effect, where each small action compounds into bigger results. But it all starts with the decision to act, even when you don't feel like it. Even when the excuses are loud, even when the fear feels overwhelming, even when everything inside you is telling you to play it safe. The true measure of your success lies in your ability to push through those moments, to take action even when it's hard, and to build the life you want, no matter what. The truth is, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to act. The moment you choose to step forward, despite the fear, despite the discomfort, you're already ahead of the game. You're already winning. And the more you practice this, the stronger you'll become. So next time you find yourself making an excuse, stop, recognize it for what it is. Then take action, no matter how hard it seems. Because that's how you destroy excuses, and that's how you create the life you deserve. Chapter 18. Design your destiny by taking one bold step today. The power to change your life is in your hands, right now. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect set of circumstances. All you need is the courage to take one bold step today. This is your life, and you are the architect. You have the ability to shape your destiny with each decision you make. The reason most people stay stuck is because they wait. They wait for things to align, for the stars to be in their favor, or for someone to give them permission. But those who achieve greatness know one truth. It's the bold actions you take today that design your future. Imagine standing on the edge of your dreams, looking out at the life you want to build. You can see it all, the success, the fulfillment, the freedom, but there's one thing standing between you and that life, the action you're willing to take. Every journey begins with a single step, and that step often feels terrifying. It's not easy to step into the unknown, to put yourself out there, to risk failure. But here's the secret. Every successful person, every person who has achieved something incredible, has had to take that first step. And it wasn't comfortable, it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. What's holding you back from designing your own destiny? Is it fear of the unknown? Is it the belief that you're not ready, or that you're not good enough? Let me tell you this, your dreams are not dependent on your perfection or your readiness. They're dependent on your willingness to take that first bold step. Every moment you hesitate, every second you wait for the right time, is a moment lost. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not promised another chance. All you have is today, and today is the only moment that matters. When you take that first step, everything changes. Your mindset shifts from one of fear and doubt to one of possibility and potential. That first step doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be taken. Maybe it's starting a project you've been putting off, reaching out to someone you admire, or making the decision to invest in yourself. It doesn't matter how big or small that step is. What matters is that it's a step forward. It's movement, it's progress, and that momentum is powerful. Here's the truth. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. The more you procrastinate, the more you convince yourself that now is not the right time, the further you get from the life you want. The more you tell yourself that you're not ready, the more you train your brain to believe that you never will be. But when you act, when you take that first bold step, you create a ripple effect. That ripple leads to more action, and more action leads to greater confidence. It's a cycle of success that builds on itself, propelling you forward with every move you make. So why wait for the perfect moment? Why put off until tomorrow what you can do today? You're not going to feel perfectly prepared when you step into something new, and that's okay. What matters is that you take action despite the uncertainty, despite the fear. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. The world rewards those who step forward with courage, who take risks, and who believe in their own potential. The moment you step out of your comfort zone, you open the door to endless possibilities. When you take that bold step today, you're telling the universe that you're serious about your dreams. You're saying, I'm ready to take control of my life. I'm ready to create the future I've always wanted. And the universe listens. It responds to the energy you put out. The more you commit to your vision, the more opportunities will present themselves. Doors will begin to open. People will start to notice you. The path will become clearer. But it all starts with that first step. Think about the most successful people you admire, whether it's in business, sports, entertainment, or any other field. They all started somewhere. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't know exactly how things were going to unfold. But they took that bold step. They acted in the face of uncertainty. They moved forward, even when the odds were against them. And that's what you have to do too. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the fear to go away. The fear will never fully disappear, but you can choose to act despite it. The key is to step forward, no matter how small the step is. Your destiny isn't some far-off dream that will magically come true. It's something you design every single day with the choices you make. Every decision you make today shapes the person you will become tomorrow. Every action you take today brings you closer to the life you want to create. You have the power to design your future by the steps you take now. And here's the most exciting part. Once you take that first step, you realize that it wasn't as scary as you thought. The fear doesn't control you anymore. You've proven to yourself that you're capable. You've shown yourself that you can handle the challenges that come your way. And the more you act, the more you will trust yourself. It's the action that builds confidence. It's the doing that brings clarity. And once you experience the power of action, you won't want to stop. So don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. You are ready right now. The future you desire is waiting for you, but it's not going to come knocking on your door. You have to go out and grab it. Take that one bold step today and watch as your life begins to transform in ways you never imagined. Every moment you spend hesitating is a moment you could be using to design your destiny. Step forward with courage and watch as everything falls into place. Your future is waiting, and it starts with the decision you make today. Chapter 19. Grow stronger by embracing discomfort every single day. You want to get stronger? Then embrace discomfort every single day. Strength doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. It doesn't come from avoiding the tough moments, from running away when things get hard. No, true strength is born in those moments when you decide to face discomfort head-on, to push through the pain, the fear, and the uncertainty. It's about taking the hard road, the one less traveled, the one that challenges you to grow. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. The greatest breakthroughs in life happen when you step outside of what's easy and familiar, when you embrace the struggle and turn it into your greatest asset. Every day presents an opportunity to grow stronger, but it's easy to fall into the trap of avoiding discomfort, of seeking comfort and convenience. We all do it. We choose the easy option because it feels good in the moment, because it's familiar, because it doesn't require effort. But the truth is, the easy path doesn't lead to success. It doesn't lead to greatness. The easy path leads to stagnation. You're not going to get better. You're not going to improve. by doing what feels comfortable. If you want to level up, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you have to get comfortable with discomfort. You have to be willing to face the hard parts of life, the challenges, the obstacles, and not back down. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone, when you push yourself to do what you've never done before. And that's where the magic happens. When you choose to confront discomfort, you build resilience. You become stronger, mentally and physically. You develop the mental toughness that it takes to tackle bigger challenges, to overcome even more difficult obstacles. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you build your capacity to handle anything that comes your way. It's like working out at the gym. Your muscles grow stronger when you push them beyond their limits. The same goes for your mind. Your mental strength grows when you push yourself beyond what you think is possible, when you embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. So many people avoid discomfort because they believe it's a sign they're doing something wrong. They think it means they're failing, that they're not good enough, that they're not ready. But the opposite is true. Discomfort is a sign that you're on the right track. It means you're challenging yourself. It means you're pushing the boundaries of your potential. It means you're growing. If you're not feeling discomfort, then you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. The growth you're seeking is just on the other side of that discomfort. So why not embrace it? Why not lean into it instead of running from it? Every time you face discomfort, you build a new layer of strength. Every time you push through the fear, the doubt, the pain, you become more capable, more confident. And that confidence doesn't come from avoiding discomfort, it comes from overcoming it. When you face discomfort head-on and push through it, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You prove that you have the strength, the resilience, and the courage to take on whatever life throws your way. The more you do this, the stronger you become, and the more you will believe in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. Embracing discomfort isn't just about physical challenges, it's about mental and emotional challenges as well. It's about learning to sit with your discomfort, to face the hard feelings instead of avoiding them. It's about pushing through the moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. It's about choosing to keep going even when it feels like the world is against you. It's about not letting setbacks, failures, or obstacles stop you from moving forward. The most successful people in life aren't the ones who have it easy. They're the ones who have faced the most discomfort, who have pushed through the hardest moments, and come out stronger on the other side. This isn't just about pushing through for the sake of it. It's about using discomfort as a tool for growth. Every uncomfortable moment is an opportunity to learn, to become better, to improve. The discomfort you feel today will become the strength you have tomorrow. It's like lifting weights. At first it feels heavy and uncomfortable, but with each rep you get stronger. Over time you look back and realize that the challenges you faced didn't break you, they made you. They turned you into the person you are today, the person who is capable of achieving everything you've ever dreamed of. It's easy to get discouraged when things get tough. It's easy to quit when the discomfort becomes overwhelming. But let me tell you something, you are capable of more than you know. You have within you the strength to push through any obstacle. The key is to not back down when it gets hard. Embrace it, lean into the discomfort. Know that every time you push yourself through it, you are growing stronger. You are becoming the person you need to be to achieve your goals, to live the life you want, to become the best version of yourself. You don't have to go through it alone either. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced discomfort along the way. Every successful person has had to deal with challenges, setbacks, and hardships. But they didn't quit. They didn't run from the discomfort. They used it to fuel their growth. And so can you. Every day is an opportunity to embrace discomfort, to face the challenges head on, and to grow stronger. It doesn't matter how hard it gets, how uncomfortable it feels. Keep pushing forward. Keep stepping outside your comfort zone. The more you do it, the stronger you will become. The stronger you become, the more you will accomplish, and that's the path to greatness. So today, don't shy away from discomfort. Step into it. Embrace it. Use it as fuel for your growth. The discomfort you face today is what will make you stronger tomorrow. And if you keep going, if you keep pushing, you will achieve things you never thought possible. The only way to grow stronger is to embrace the discomfort. The only way to become the best version of yourself is to face the challenges head on, every single day. And that's exactly what you're capable of doing. So take a deep breath, step forward, and know that with each uncomfortable step you take, you are growing stronger. And that strength will carry you farther than you ever imagined. Chapter 20. Lead your life by deciding who you will become. Your life is a reflection of the choices you make every single day. The decisions you make now, in this very moment, shape who you will become in the future. Life doesn't just happen to you. You are the one who decides what your future will look like. You are the one who decides the direction you want to take, the person you want to be, and the path you want to follow. But most people don't realize this. They get swept up in the currents of life, allowing the circumstances around them to dictate who they are and what they do. They let life control them instead of taking control of their life. They forget that they are the leaders of their own story. They forget that they have the power to shape their destiny by simply deciding who they will become. Imagine this for a moment. What if you could wake up tomorrow and choose to become the person you've always dreamed of being? What if you could step into the version of yourself that you know deep down you're capable of becoming? It's not a fantasy. It's not something reserved for only a lucky few. It's within your reach right now. But here's the thing. It all starts with a decision. The decision to take control of your life and lead it in the direction you want to go. The decision to stop letting external circumstances dictate your future and start creating your own reality. You can choose today, right now, to take charge and decide who you will become. Life is full of distractions, setbacks, and challenges. But none of that matters if you are clear on who you want to be. When you have a vision for your future, when you know who you want to become, nothing will be able to sway you from your path. You will have a purpose that drives you, a direction that guides you, and an inner strength that propels you forward, even when things get tough. When you lead your life by deciding who you will become, you stop being a passive observer in your own life, and you become an active participant. You take ownership of your future, and you make things happen, rather than waiting for things to happen to you. This isn't about setting vague goals or making wishful plans. This is about making a commitment to yourself. It's about declaring with unwavering confidence, I am going to become the person I was always meant to be, and then following through on that commitment. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, no matter how hard it gets. It's about sticking to your vision even when it seems impossible, even when others doubt you, even when you feel like giving up. Because you know that the person you are becoming is worth the struggle. You know that the version of yourself that is waiting on the other side of this journey is more powerful, more resilient, and more capable than anything you've been before. And that's why you'll keep going. That's why you'll keep pushing forward, no matter what. The beauty of leading your life by deciding who you will become is that it's within your control. You don't have to wait for the right moment, for the perfect conditions, for things to line up perfectly. You can start right now. You can decide right now who you will be. And once you make that decision, everything changes. Your actions change. your mindset changes, your priorities shift. You start taking the steps necessary to bring your vision to life. It's not about waiting for a sign or waiting for things to be just right. It's about deciding who you want to be and then taking action, one step at a time toward that vision. But here's the catch: deciding who you will become is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. Every single day, you have to choose to show up and lead your life. Every day, you have to make decisions that align with the person you are becoming, not the person you've been. It's about choosing the path of growth, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you feel like taking the easy way out. Leading your life means making the hard decisions, the ones that push you out of your comfort zone, the ones that challenge you to become more, to do more, to give more. Every day is a new opportunity to decide who you will be and to take the necessary steps to make that vision a reality. The world will try to tell you who you should be. It will try to impose its expectations, its standards, its rules. But the truth is, only you know who you are meant to become. Only you know the potential within you, the greatness that lies dormant, waiting to be unleashed. Don't let anyone or anything tell you otherwise. Don't let the world's opinions or judgments shape your identity. You are the one who gets to decide who you will be. And once you make that decision, you can't let anyone or anything take that power away from you. The key to leading your life is not about waiting for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, or the perfect opportunity. It's about taking control of the moment you have right now. It's about deciding that today